Namaste. Today we're going to talk about something very dirty, a very dirty word. It's a very filthy, dirty concept. And I know most of you are going to be so offended that you're going to close this tab. I have to give a trigger warning. Trigger warning if there are any pregnant women or little children or old people in the crowd. Please shut off your tab now because I'm about to talk about something very triggering and horrible. Okay? It's a very dirty word. It's the dirtiest word in the spiritual language. Yeah, filthy. Warning. Okay, warning done. It's a very dirty word that starts with G, has a D in the end, and has an O in the middle. G or D. Yeah, it's the filthiest word in the spiritual circles. God. In many, you know, meditation forums, they don't want to talk about God. They don't want to use this word, and many teachers don't use it. Like Eckhart Tolle uses the word being, or other people use spirit or our higher self. I use our higher self because the word God has been so corrupted by centuries of misuse. People who have no concept of what the word means, they go around, with their chest beating. My God says this. My God. It's like, my God wants to kill you. My God will destroy you. And they've turned God into this mafia don. Like you have to pay him protection money, or by going to his church and offering donations. Otherwise, he'll come and shoot you. It's like, yeah, Don God save. You come and pay your respects. Yeah, sorry, that was my bad impression of the Godfather. So, Godfather, yeah, I just realized. God, they've turned into this mafia don, this sex pervert who likes to watch you masturbate. That's the thing. People must have the view of God, right? He's sitting up in the sky with a white beard, and every time you masturbate, he's like, no, 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 bad boy, bad girl, naughty boy, naughty boy. Don't touch that, don't touch that. It's like, I read Louise Hayes, Louise Hay, she's a famous author of, I think, You Can Heal Your Life. I think in this book, You Can Heal Your Life, or one of your other books, she says, this God, he runs the whole universe, billions and billions of galaxies with billions and billions of stars in each. Like it's like unlimited. And this powerful God, he has nothing but to do, sit there watching what you're doing with your pee. It's like, wait, I was going to, make a new galaxy, but that kid over there is masturbating. I have to watch him. That's what most people think. Sorry. Most people think of God. It's just a guy watching you. And this is a very harmful concept. They've gone into a school teacher. And with God, you can replace with Eastern concepts, like karma or spirit or whatever crap Eastern. The same superstition apply not just to Western but to Eastern religions as well. So in the Eastern religion also, God is a school teacher. If you've been a naughty boy, he punishes you with karma or will send you to hell. But if you've been a good boy, you get lollipop, yay, and you go to heaven, or you get a good next life, and you're like, yeah, I was a good boy, I did what I was told, now I'm going to go to heaven, or I'll be born into a good rich family next life. And yeah, it's like they've turned into, the universal spirit into a school teacher or a headmaster who beats naughty boys. And it's and it really holds people back because it turns people off. Religion turns people off. And the problem in the West is that they've thrown away the baby with the bathwater, as the saying goes. There are problems in religion, yeah, but they threw the whole thing out, including the good parts as well. And that's horrible. All religions, I'm not trying to promote any religion. I don't subscribe to any religion. Though I was born in Hinduism, I don't subscribe. I don't, wear the cap of my religion is better than yours. Yeah, they all have good parts and they can all help you. But this backlash against idiotic uh, fanaticism. My God can beat up your God. I think this is very harmful because, like I said, all religions have good things and they do. You're supposed to. There's a saying in the Upanishads. They say, "Be like the swan." It's a myth. It's not actual, but in mythology, in Indian mythology, they say that if you put milk mixed with water in front of a swan, the swan will drink the milk and leave the water. Yeah, I know that's not practically possible, but it's a good analogy. I think the Western version is separate the wheat from the chaff. You spread the good parts, separate the good parts from the bad parts, and so that's religion. The concept of God itself, I think, it's got a lot of bad publicity, which I think most of it is unwarranted. God, as I see it, is, you know, there are various levels of consciousness. At the lowest level, you got the rocks, and in Eastern tradition, even rocks have some level of consciousness. It's dumb. Then you got your bacteria, then you got your plants, and then you got your animals, then you got your mammals, and then you've got humans. And according to science, it stops here. But if you look at spirituality, in humans, you can have higher beings in enlightened Buddhas or angels or whatever you call them. So you got your consciousness. It vibrates at different levels. From the lowest level to the highest level, and the highest level of consciousness. The pure consciousness, not bound by any form. Because most of consciousness is bound, right? We're bound to this body. I'm limited to this body. I can't fly in the air. I can't do. I can't leap from trees. I cannot go dive deep into the ocean without special equipment, because this body is limited. And that's the thing about most form. The forms are limited. Forms are beautiful. I'm not saying forms are bad. That's not the problem spiritual people have. That material world is bad. Sex is bad. How living in good cars, big houses are bad. No, I'm not saying they're bad. Forms are beautiful. Having a beautiful body is good. Having a nice house is good, or a car is good. The problem with forms is that they ultimately they don't last. No matter how sexy you are today, tomorrow you'll grow old and die. How beautiful your car is, one day it's going to rust. No matter how beautiful your house is, going to start falling down until you have to continuously work on it. And even then, 1,000 years from now, the whole city, the houses, our civilization will be gone. It will replaced with something else, I know. But so form is beautiful, but form is limited because it decays and falls away. So there's this form, and then there's pure consciousness that expresses itself through form. Okay, so this is pure consciousness that comes into form, and it explores the world of forms through us. But this pure consciousness is not limited by form. So there's this thing called Shantanu standing over here in this time and location, in this fixed location in this time period. And so this is one form, but there's also pure consciousness that's outside of this form, and that's looking through this eyes, these forms, and that's talking through this form. And this pure consciousness is not limited by any way, and it's not unique either. There's not my consciousness and your consciousness. It's the same consciousness in all humans, in all animals, even in rocks and plants, and in suns and galaxies. And this pure consciousness, this state of being, this pure awareness can be called God. Or you can, if this word feels bad, you can call it being, or the spirit, or your own higher self, because it is our higher self, right? If you look at it from a vibrational point of view, that's the highest self of all of us. And it's not unique. It's we share it. All of us share this consciousness, and this consciousness explores the world of form through us. And so this consciousness, we need this consciousness, because while we are in this form, we cannot really feel happiness. We can never be truly joyful and peaceful, because the form is limited. Our body is limited, even our brain is limited. So we can never feel happy while we're in form. The only way to feel really calm is to step back and identify with the consciousness. So we need this consciousness, this being, this spirit, to feel joyful. But this spirit also needs us, because the spirit, the being, it experiences the physical world through us. So it also needs us. So it's not a primary school teacher relationship. The spirit is not our headmaster. It's not there to punish us. It's not there to teach us a lesson. It's not there to humiliate us. It's not there to send us to hell or heaven. And this is a very stupid way of looking at things. Even the theory of karma is stupid. The Eastern theory of karma. If you do good things, you'll be born into a good family. It's your karma. Karma is used to shame people. That's what I've seen. People who are poor or people who are born in with disease, it's his karma. And this is arrogance that I'm better than him. I did better karma, so I don't have to suffer. This consciousness, this being that we can call God, it exists in the universe, and it expresses itself through us, and it needs us as much as we need it. It's not a school teacher relationship. It's not a master slave master relationship. It's not a I'm going to punish you for being naughty relationship. This being, this consciousness, it's the closest thing to it is pure love. It experiences pure love more than even peace. Many people start meditating to feel peace, but the true state of this being is pure love. Love is how it expresses itself. Love is why it creates the form, why it creates the world. Love is how it works through us. And anytime you feel pure love and joy and kindness and compassion, the word is compassion. That means your identity, your consciousness has risen to that level of at least higher than your physical body. Obviously, we can never rise to pure consciousness, not while we're in form, but we can touch it. We can get very close to it, and that's a sign. You'll feel calm. You'll feel loving, peaceful, compassionate, not for yourself but everyone in the whole universe. And that's what the God is. It's this consciousness. It's a level of feeling. It's a state of vibration, to use this law of attraction term. Law of attraction, they all talk about vibration, but I don't think they know what it means. Yeah, they just use the word. You have to raise your vibration. What does that mean? It means you have to raise your consciousness, so it's no longer limited to this physical world, which is one of form and misery and suffering. You have to raise it higher. That doesn't mean you have to leave the world. It doesn't mean you have to go to heaven. It doesn't mean you have to go to the Himalayas. Like I said, the form wants us to explore this world through us. But we can do it in a state of anger and hate, or we can do it from a state of loving compassion. And that loving compassion comes when we are in touch with our own higher self, our own inner God, our own divine self. Like I said, you don't have to retire from the world. You can live a divine life. You're no longer bound by the laws of the world. I mean, you have some limitations, like you won't be flying in the air like Superman. But other than that, your consciousness is not bound, because you're no longer bound to this one body, this one time and location. The consciousness is everywhere, and everybody feels this consciousness, and you have felt it too, even though I don't know who you are. I don't know when you're listening to this video or audio, but I know you've felt it, because every time you've felt, loving compassion, pure love, not it can be for anyone, for yourself, for somebody you love, or your relationship, or your friend, or anything. Anytime you felt like extreme love and compassion for anyone, including yourself, you felt really emotional, you felt like crying for no reason, that's the spirit coming through you. That's the God energy, that God consciousness coming through you. And that's all God is. It's just a higher level of vibration. But it's your own vibration, it's your own consciousness. It's not something out there. There's no guy who sits in the sky watching you masturbate. It's your own higher consciousness. It's just, you can raise, as human beings, we have this power. We can lower our consciousness to animal. And people do that, who murder and rape, and they feel so horny, they just have to go and kill someone or they rape someone. So they've lowered their consciousness to animal. So we can go down, but we can also go up. We can also raise our consciousness. And the higher we raise it, the closer we get to the divine state. We'll never get it, we'll never be 100% perfect. We can't be, not while we're in form. I don't know what happens when we die, or when we become in light nirvana and our body explodes in light. I don't know what happens then. But certainly while you're in form, there will be limitations. But you can get very close to that big consciousness. You can become one with that consciousness. And instead of thinking from your brain or from this level, you can start acting from that high level of consciousness. And that high level of consciousness starts acting through you. And then it's not you who's working, it's the consciousness working through you. That's when you realize how stupid, the whole God wants to punish you is, or bad karma. How can there be bad karma when it's a universe, universal intelligence, the divine intelligence, the whole universe working through you? How can there be anything that's bad or good for that matter? Everything is built from love, and it's loving consciousness. So that's what God is. It's this pure consciousness that is us. It's not something out there. It's not the creator of the world. It's not your boss, not your teacher. So people say, why is God doing this to me? Or why does God always do this to me? God doesn't do shit to you, man. It's your own shit. Deal with your own shit. Don't blame God for this everything. I mean, we as humans created this world. So all things that happen in this world are our responsibilities. No, we can't blame God for that. We create this shit, we have to get out of it. And the universal consciousness, this God consciousness, can help us, and it does help us. But we have to be in a state of grace, in a state of acceptance, in a state of loving and compassion before we can accept, guidance from the higher self. You have to get out of your own thinking, this shitty, this non-stop negativity. You have to get out of that before you can access the higher consciousness. That's what God is, and this higher consciousness wants to help us because, like I said, it's made of pure love. And also it's cliched, loves make the world go round. But love does make the world go round. Because this consciousness that actually we all are and that creates this world and runs it, it's built on pure love. It does it because it is love. And so anytime you have this doubt, God is going to punish me. No, nobody's going to punish you, Dad. God doesn't teach love using beatings. God doesn't teach you love by punishing you. That's like saying, you run a conference on anti-torture, against torture, and you start the conference by torturing people. Saying that God punishes us is like saying, I want to teach people about torture. I'm gonna torture people to show them that torture is bad. It doesn't make sense, right? If you want to show torture is bad, you don't go out and torture people. In the same way, if you want to teach about love, you don't do that from punishment. You don't beat people. You don't worship me. I'm gonna send you to hell. That's not how the universal consciousness works. It does not use punishment or beatings to teach us about love. Yeah, let me repeat that because it's very important. The universal consciousness, the God consciousness, does not use beatings and punishments to teach us about love. It uses love to teach us about love. And it's loving kindness. And the ego, our attachment to our thinking, it hates this love because it does not believe that this love is possible. And so it makes up all these excuses. Makes up the devil, or the God is punishing me, or whatever crap. This is the ego's crap because the ego refuses to accept that there can be any such thing as pure love. So, if there's shit going on in your life, ask for help from your own higher self and have 100% confidence, 100% confidence that your own higher self, your own divine self, your own Buddha nature, the universal intelligence that we can also call the God consciousness, it works from a position of love and it wants to help you. It's literally standing at your door saying, please let me help you. How can I help you? And we are like, oh no, I don't want your help. No, go away, shoot. We are closing the door on it. So if you want to be in touch with the universal consciousness, you have to be in a state of compassion and love. And this is where gratitude works very well. I found that. Every day you write down 5 or 10 things you're grateful for. It can be your house, it can be what you ate for breakfast. It can be your socks, your comfy socks. Yeah, it can be your iPhone or whatever. Just 5 or 10 things. If you're grateful for stuff, grateful for what you have, that puts you in touch with the higher consciousness. Compassion, gratitude, love, they put you in touch with the higher consciousness, this thing called God. And then this higher consciousness starts helping you because it wants you to succeed. It wants you to be, successful, not in spiritual life, but in material life as well. But even this consciousness cannot force it will help you down your throat. You have to open and accept it. Okay. So live a life of joy and humility and gratitude. And your own higher self loves you and wants you to help you. And remember this universal consciousness, God, needs us as much as we need it. Okay, this is a codependent relationship. It's not a school teacher or a slave master relationship. It's not a S&M relationship. It's a codependent relationship. This universal consciousness needs us as much as we need it, because it wants to experience the world through us. It is experiencing the world through us, but our thinking mind fights it. So practice loving compassion and raise your consciousness and have faith in the universe. The universe loves you and wants you to succeed. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful you listened to me.